And that's where you get very risky behavior.
Now, Iran's foreign minister has claimed the path to a deal has started. That's after the talks with the US in Geneva. Now, Abbas Araghchi insists that the US must drop the threat of using military force for progress to be made.
We are hopeful that negotiation will lead to a sustainable and negotiated solution. At the same time, as demonstrated during the aggression of 13 June 2025, Iran remains fully prepared to defend itself against any threat.
The meeting, American officials told reporters that Iran had agreed to submit a detailed set of proposals in the coming 2 weeks to close the gaps in talks on the nuclear issue. Get the thoughts now from Ambassador Barbara Leaf, who served as Assistant Secretary of State for Near Eastern Affairs in Washington. Hello to you, Ambassador.
Hi, John. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for joining me. Tell me, what are your feelings about this? Can you feel optimistic about a deal between America and Iran?
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to avoid optimist, pessimist at this point because there's, notwithstanding the determinedly positive spin that the Iranian foreign minister put on it, that the Omani foreign minister put on it, we're going to have to wait to see how President Trump characterizes this latest round. We've been here before where we were waiting for another round to start, and then the next thing you know, missiles were flying.
Yes.
And
yes.
The President Trump continues to pour a lot of military assets into the region.
Yeah, enormous military power now within range of targets in Iran. And Iran, they want to keep their nuclear program, which they insist is for civilian use, of course. And Donald Trump, he wants to end all uranium enrichment. There's no clear meeting point.
Well, there have been leaks, of course. There have been musings by unnamed officials that there are, in fact, a set of proposals from the Iranian side as to how this circle might be squared. We don't know. Those details simply are not confirmed in public by U.S. officials.
Yes.
But there are always ways to square such a circle.
Yeah, I mean, there has been some suggestion of other countries coming in to play the key role in managing the nuclear program, but no visible movement on that at all at this point. And what about the idea of a limit on Iran's ballistic missile development? That's another potential sticking point, isn't it?
It is a sticking point. My understanding is that these talks have been squarely focused on the immediate issue of the nuclear program, where, as you say, there are still substantial gaps. But at least Araghchi is claiming that there is a set of principles that are sort of loosely agreed that can form the basis for a framework agreement, i.e. for the next round of discussions. The Iranians have long said their ballistic missile program is strictly for defensive purposes, can't be put on the table. But I think it's safe to say that they're going to be pushed hard on that, and I would not be surprised to see that come into the discussions at some point, perhaps not now, lest it derail the nuclear prospects for a nuclear agreement.
Right. And what about the issue of the various militia proxies that serve Iran? Israel, of course, very keen to see their wings clipped. Again, it's another tricky issue.
It is tricky, and it would be quite complex to put together an agreement that would govern such activity. But there is keen interest, not just by the U.S., not just by Israel, but by Iran's regional neighbors to see an end to that activity. And you've had some reference by Iranian officials, sort of an opening of the door to such a discussion, including the missiles, but would only be done with the neighbors, not with Israel or the U.S. So we'll see.
It's possible, just lastly and briefly, the two sides don't quite understand each other's position, isn't it? I mean, you have Iran apparently maybe calculating that Donald Trump doesn't want a long conflict in Iran, but equally, with all of that military force just off in the coast of Iran, Donald Trump is a leader who likes to have a quick victory, which requires action.
John, there's certainly a disconnect between one very important piece of this picture, which is the belief by both sides that they, although they don't want to go to escalation, they don't want to go to military conflict, both sides have a core conviction that they could manage it, that they could manage it better than the other side,
Yeah.
and that's where you get very risky behavior
Okay,
and
risky behavior.
misunderstandings.
Okay, well, all the rest of us can do is just watch very closely. Ambassador Barbara Leaf, formerly of the U.S. State Department, thank you for coming on.